I didn't plan on making a video today, however, this is a big deal, and I understand some people aren't going to think it's a big deal, but I'll explain why it is. It's far beyond, and it's much deeper than Alabama getting another star wide receiver that in the first place, they didn't even need. It's bigger than that, and if you have no idea what's going on, Georgia's wide receiver, the star wide receiver, Jermaine Burton, has transferred to Alabama. We're going to talk all about it, so if you love football content and you're simply not subscribed to the channel, what are you doing? I'd appreciate it if you join our family. Hit that subscribe button, leave a like for more. And without further ado, let's get into it. The NFL playoffs are currently going on, and they've been going on the past couple of days, and man, oh man, I gotta be honest, I'm not the biggest NFL fan, but these games have been incredible. Every single game has came down to a game-winning field goal. As a football fan, you can't ask for much more. And also, once again, you can see why you can never count out Tom Brady. When you think it's over, no, he just does some incredible things, and his team's never out of the ball game. With all the good NFL games going on, and there's one more still currently going on, there's been some big college news that is flying under the radar. The news I'm talking about is Jermaine Burton, the star wide receiver for Georgia, has transferred to Alabama. I knew, and a lot of you guys, you also knew, that Alabama was in the running for getting this guy, but I didn't expect it to happen, and here's one reason why. Only a couple of days ago, Lane Kiffin came out and said that Jermaine Burton and JT Daniels are a package deal. So if you get Jermaine Burton, like in Alabama's case, that also means you should get JT Daniels, right? No, let me clarify. These two guys being a quote-unquote package deal, it wasn't a rumor, it was a real thing. So when the news first broke that Jermaine was going to Alabama, I was kind of confused because there's no way JT Daniels is going there too. I'm not too sure what happened with JT and Burton being this package, but obviously the package is off. The best fit for Burton is obviously Alabama, and we'll touch on that in just a second. But now it leaves us even more questions with JT Daniels. I thought JT Daniels and maybe Burton, if they go to Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin, they'd be a dynamic duo and they could tear up the SEC. I assume and guess that's not going to happen because there's now some rumors talking about Jackson Dart, the transfer quarterback from USC, he's going to Ole Miss. I don't know what's going on with that, but let's get back on topic with Jermaine. I really want you guys to understand it is much deeper than Alabama getting a star wide receiver. Remember what happened last year? Devontae Smith was a first-round pick, and so was Jalen Waddle. The biggest question was, okay, who's going to be the next star wide receiver for Alabama, and do they have a guy to fill that position? And what do you know? Some transfer nobody was talking about, Jameson Williams, he lit the country on fire. Am I saying Jermaine Burton's going to be the next Jameson Williams? No. But here's what I am saying. He's going to do the exact same thing he did. I made a video only a couple of days ago telling you why Alabama was going to be even scarier next year, and that was without them adding Jermaine Burton. Alabama's going to have a top 5, maybe top 3 defense next year, no questions asked. They're returning Will Anderson, the best player in college football in my opinion, and they're also returning the Heisman Trophy winner, Bryce Young. The offensive line can only get better. They were not that good this year. They were good at times, don't get me wrong, but they were inconsistent. The only weakness any ESPN analyst, fan, anybody on Instagram or Twitter could say about this Alabama team going into next year was the wide receiver position. Or maybe that's a bad way to say it. Let me rephrase that. The only question mark is the wide receivers. They're losing their top 3 wide receivers in Slade Bolden, John Mechie, and Jameson Williams, and they do have younger 4- and 5-star recruits, but they're not established. But now with the addition of this young man who's going to be a star, I'm calling it right now. If you saw him play at Georgia, his only problem was that Stetson Bennett couldn't get him the ball. This man is easily going to walk into Alabama and be wide receiver 1. He's already the best wide receiver, and nobody's even going to argue with that. He's got one key piece that Nick Saban and his staff was looking for. Of course he has talent, but he has experience, and that's what they need. Let's just take a look at his numbers. In 2020, as a freshman, let me repeat, a freshman, in 10 games played, he had 27 catches for over 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. Not too bad. In 2021, it was kind of similar, but once again, and this isn't me throwing shots at Stetson Bennett, it's just a cold hard truth, Bennett couldn't force feed him the ball, and none of the receivers on Georgia had great years just because that's not their offense. They're not going to throw it as much as Alabama. Anyways, in 2021, it wasn't terrible. He had 26 catches for nearly 500 yards and 5 touchdowns. I do want to throw in there, and I've already talked about this, one of the key reasons he's transferring is because he doesn't want to play for Stetson Bennett. He wants to play for a quarterback in a system that will force feed him the ball if he's hot. And for that reason right there, that's why Alabama is the perfect, and I mean the perfect fit. One thing Alabama has done in the past 4 to 5 years is they always feed the hot hand. It doesn't matter if it's the running back or wide receivers. Remember when Alabama had 4 first-rounders and they were literally arguing over who got to run the touchdown route? I'm not going to go too into detail with it. It's hard to explain. If you know what I'm talking about, you know. That's the thing with Alabama that makes it so appealing to go to. Sometimes Jalen Waddle, he would have 2 catches for 20 yards, and Devontae Smith would have 15 catches for 200 yards. And then in the next game, sometimes Devontae Smith would have 1 catch for 7 yards, and Jalen Waddle would have 15 catches for 200. It's how it goes, and it's vice versa. That's why Alabama is one of the best, and I know it seems like I rant and rave about them, but I'm just telling you how it is. I don't even like to call it feeding the hot hand. It's more of they're going to exploit the mismatch. If Jermaine Burton has a mismatch, they're not going to run the ball consistently. They're going to find a way to get him the ball. At Georgia, they didn't really do that, and I'm not saying it didn't work because, yeah, they won a championship, but as a wide receiver, do you really want to play for Georgia? I wouldn't. It's not really playing for Georgia, it's more of you don't want to play for Stetson Bennett. We've already talked about this, but why do you think Jermaine Burton waited to enter the transfer portal until after Stetson Bennett made his decision? It wasn't a coincidence. Burton preferred to play with JT Daniels because what do you know? In 2020, JT fed on the ball against Mississippi State, and in one game alone, he had 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. He understands, and everybody in college football understands, even Georgia fans understand, if you play for Stetson Bennett, you're not going to have many games like that. However, if you play for Bryce Young, you can have maybe 4 or 5 games like that. If you're a great player and you can start on Alabama, that's the school to go to because they will, and let me repeat, they will find a way to get you the ball. Let's take a look at his Twitter. He tweeted out a motivational video and all he said was, "I love you, Mom." And some people in the comment section, Georgia fans more in particular, they weren't too happy. A bunch of them were calling him a snake, and I understand it. I don't know if they're trolling or being serious, but I don't even think he snaked over the program. Snaking over a team and snaking over a program is what Lincoln Riley did. This guy didn't do that. He's simply going to a better school for a better opportunity. As a Georgia fan, I can understand where you're coming from. It's not a good look when you won the championship and you got guys transferring on your team to the team you beat in the championship. I didn't even think of it as a Georgia player snaking over the program because if you want me to tell you the cold hard truth, great offensive players want to play with other great offensive players. I hate to say it, but it's the truth. Stetson Bennett, he's not great. It's not rocket science. You can apply it to your everyday life. Winners want to hang out with winners, and losers want to hang out with losers. If you think I'm lying, just think about some of the people you went to high school with, college with, or you see in your everyday life. People that have a great business, they're entrepreneurs, this or that, they more times than not hang out with other entrepreneurs. On the flip side, people that do drugs, they don't have a great lifestyle, they drink a lot. They hang out with other people that do those same things. Why did I even bring that up? Because of this. You are who you hang with. If you're hanging out and playing with mediocre quarterbacks, your stats are going to reflect that and they're going to be mediocre. On the contrary, and I think you know where I'm going with this, if you hang around and play with great quarterbacks, your stats are going to reflect that and you're going to have great numbers. Let me dumb it down and put it in an even better perspective. Would you rather play for Tom Brady or Jalen Hurts? That's my argument in case for Jermaine Burton. He did the right thing. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say about this situation. Once again, I'm still kind of shocked about it, but I'm not too shocked if that makes sense. Let me know your thoughts down below. But with that all being said, it's going to wrap up this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys learned something. If you know the channel ain't done, join the family. Hit that subscribe button and leave a like for more. And as always, let's be great. I'm out, y'all. Peace.